The Brony Adventures 4, Chapter 39, Forgiveness. At Dunsmore's castle in Dark territory, Anti-Fletcheye says, "He's coming." Anti-Twilight says, "Let him in. Don't attack." Dunsmore flies in through the window and lands. He looks around at them all. They bow. Anti-Twilight says, "Welcome, King Thunderstorm." Thunder, Thunderstorm says, "I'll give all of you, even you, Anti-Twilight, one chance. Join me. Be good. Other Dark Ponies have. You are important. You don't have to fall down this path. I'll hold nothing against you. You'll be free. No dungeon. Nothing." Anti-Rarity says, "Really? You'll do that after all that we've done?" Anti-Applejack says, "Yeah. We tried to kill your wife and your closest friend." Thunderstorm, Thunderstorm says, "If you accept my offer, as far as I'm concerned, it never happened." Anti-Pinkie Pie walks up to Thunderstorm and says, "Sounds good. I'm with them." Anti-Flesheye says, "Me too." Anti-Rarity says, "Me also." Anti-Applejack says, "Count me in." They stand beside Thunderstorm. Thunderstorm says, "Anti-Twilight, how about you?" Anti-Twilight says, "To be good is against Dark Pony nature. We are Dark Ponies. Evil is in our blood." Thunderstorm looks up to Anti-Twilight and says, "You're not a robot. You're not programmed to be something. You choose your own path." He hugs Anti-Twilight and says, "Stop being so cold. You're an amazing pony. Share it with others. Don't take it away." He wraps both wings around her. Anti-Twilight blushes and says, What are you doing?" Thunderstorm smiles and looks into her eyes. Anti-Twilight says, "I understand." Thunderstorm says, "Good." He unwraps his wings and stops hugging her and says, "Let's go home." Anti-Twilight says, "Wait, you should know something." Thunderstorm says, "What?" Anti-Twilight says, "It was me. All me. I made the bomb. I put it in the house. They didn't even know about it till I told them after I got back. I'm sorry. So sorry." Thunderstorm nuzzles her and says, I forgive you. Stop worrying." He looks into her eyes and says, "You're my friend, and I trust you with my life." Twilight's eyes go wide. Thunderstorm says, "Don't believe me? I hugged you with both my wings wrapped around you. My guard was completely down. You easily could have killed me or hurt me, but you didn't. I trust you, Anti-Twilight. I honestly do." He does under her and stands up, putting her on his back. Anti-Twilight says, "Whoa." Thunderstorm lifts his wings and says, "Hang on." Anti-Applejack says, "Let's move to our new home." They follow Thunderstorm's purple night sky full of shining stars trail. Anti-Twilight says, "Oh my, oh my, this is fast, this is fast." Thunderstorm says, "You ain't seen nothing. I can go faster." Anti-Twilight says, "No, no, I'm fine." Thunderstorm says, "Okay." He lands on the training ground and kneels down. Anti-Twilight steps down. Thunderstorm stands up and looks around and says, "Should I teleport them here?" Or Anti-Twilight says, "We should teleport them here." Thunderstorm says, "Okay." Their horns glow. One by one, they show up. Anti-Applejack, Anti-Fluttershy, Anti-Rarity, and Anti-Pinkie Pie. Anti-Rainbow Dash walks up to Thunderstorm and says, "Are they?" Thunderstorm nods. Anti-Rainbow Dash smiles. Thunderstorm looks at them all and says, "Welcome to your new home." They all hug him. Draconic stands behind Thunderstorm and says, "Thunderstorm?" Thunderstorm says, "Yeah." Draconic says, "Get over here." Thunderstorm walks up to Draconic. Draconic says, "What are you doing?" Thunderstorm says, "Hugging my new friends, genius." Draconic says, "What the hey? You were all blood red and armor appeared angry at them, and now you're friends?" Thunderstorm says, Revenge isn't always right. Kindness can go a long way. I forgive them. Their evil wanted me to take revenge, and I didn't. It changed them, saved them. They're good now, and my friends. Draconic stares at Thunderstorm. Thunderstorm says, "What? You okay? What?" Draconic says, "Dude, you're weird." Thunderstorm says, "How?" Draconic says, "In so many ways. So many ways." Aerodash lands beside him. Scootaloo jumps off her back and says, "Daddy!" She hugs Thunderstorm. Thunderstorm says, "Hey, Scoot." Thunderstorm looks at Anti-Twilight and says, "Scoot, I want you to go hug Anti-Twilight. Make it nice and warm, okay?" Scootaloo says, "A hug? Do I have to? It's cool from you and Mom, but..." Thunderstorm says, "Yes, you have to, and mean it." Scootaloo says, "Okay." She walks over to Anti-Twilight. Anti-Twilight says, "Princess Scootaloo." Scootaloo says, "How'd you change them?" Thunderstorm says, "I showed two love, and the others forgiveness." Everdash raises an eyebrow and says, "Love?" Thunderstorm says, "Not that kind of love. But they are loved. That ponies do care about them. Like us." Everdash says, "Oh, cool." Thunderstorm looks at the anti-six and thinks, "I am not a hero. But I will protect them." He looks at Rainbow Dash and Draconic and thanks them. "My wife and brother. I will protect them to my last breath." A memory flashes through his head. Rainbow Dash says, "Thunder roars, lightning soars. He rules this realm. A dark king of noble heart. He will take part in helping us all. Follow him, hear his call. He stands in front of us all. Lay down his life to end strife. Back to reality." Thunderstorm says, "To end strife." But there's so much. A mysterious voice says, "But if evil lurks inside, all hide. It is Major, for he is a rager, a spirit of great power and death. Blood will rain, screams of pain. No control. He is whole. Between good and evil. Both call, both fall." Thunderstorm says, "I prefer to not remember that part. Please, Anti-Rarity." Anti-Rarity says, "You're quite ancient." Thunderstorm says, "I'm not ancient. I'm experienced." Anti-Rarity says, "I meant you're kind. Ragers. Your friend Draconis thinks he's a rager, but it's just a demon inside him, not a rager spirit. A rager is a spirit, not a demon. It will kill him and make him do horrible things. A rager spirit great protects you and your family, also friends. It's a gift." Thunderstorm says, "Not a curse. I know. Cronus is an amazing brother. You know, when Aunt Celestia had her scientists make her a son, they got it done quicker than expected." Anti-Rarity says, "How?" Thunderstorm says, "They had a body for Aunt Celestia's son, but nothing to inhabit it, to give it life. Then a pony found a human in the Everfree Forest. He was in critical condition. The pony took him to the hospital, but they didn't have the technology to save him. So they sent him to the scientists, and the scientists put the human soul into Celestia's son's body. They now have something to inhabit it, and Aunt Celestia got her son, Draconics." Anti-Rarity says, "Wow. How did he get hurt?" Thunderstorm says, "A portal opened that led from Earth to here. He fell through, but the other side of the portal was in the sky, above the Everfree. So," Anti-Rarity says, "Ouch." Thunderstorm looks at Draconis and says, "Yeah. He'd be dead if it wasn't for that pony all those years ago." Anti-Rarity says, "Wow. You and him, two humans from Earth that became powerful ponies and are protectors." Thunderstorm says, "Yet." Static appears around Thunderstorm. Thunderstorm opens his mouth, but no words come out. Anti-Rarity says, "Oh my. Some pony help! Help!" Thunderstorm's coat turns white and his eyes yellow. His mane and tail turn white with yellow in them. The ground cracks underneath them. Draconic screams, "Thunderstorm!" Thunderstorm's eyes glow white, then his entire body glows. An explosion. No, wait, a beam of light shoots out from under him and into the sky, consuming Thunderstorm. Scootaloo screams, "Daddy!" An image appears in the light. A mysterious voice says, "Hello? Can anybody hear us? Please answer me." Jacarnet says, "Yes, we can hear you. What do you want?" The mysterious voice says, "Need help. What? War. H- Haters. Come to Earth. Immediately. P- please. We need you." The image fades. The beam of light ends. Stormdust turns back into Thunderstorm. He falls to his knees and says, "What just happened?" Draconis says, "We've been called to war." End of chapter 39. Brony Adventures 4, chapter 40. A portal to war. Thunderstorm slowly stands up and says, "War? From who?" Draconis says, "Humans." Thunderstorm says, "Humans? Why should we help humans?" Draconis says, "We were humans once." Thunderstorm says, keyword, once. Draconis says, "And I think it's bronies who need our help." Thunderstorm says, "Bronies? I'll open a portal. Get everything that you need and report back here." Draconis nods and lifts his wings and says, "Don't go ranger on Earth, okay?" Thunderstorm says, "Okay, go." Draconis says, "Good." And that's why it says, "Can, can we help?" Thunderstorm says, "Of course, get what you need." And that's why it smiles and turns around. And that's why it says, "Come on, girls, we got a war to prepare for." They run off. Thunderstorm says, "Whoa, whoa, not you, Scoot." Scooby says, "Oh, come on, Dad, I want to help." Thunderstorm says, "You can help by sitting here and looking at their apple and sweet bell blaze and play back, okay?" Scooby says, "Okay." Thunderstorm says, "Thank you." Scooby says, "Whatever," she mumbles under her breath. Dash says, "Do you got any armor I can wear?" Thunderstorm says, "You're not going either. It's a war. You're pregnant, and I'd be constantly worried about you. Dashi, I would never try to tell you what to do, but this is serious. You've never seen human war machines or guns. You're staying here, and so is Rain and Lunar." Dash says, "You know I'm going, so why keep talking?" Thunderstorm's eyes glow red, and he says, "You're not going." Dash says, "Right." Thunderstorm says, "You're not going. I'm not kidding. You could be killed." Dash says, "Did you just yell at me? Let's get one thing straight. You don't yell at me, and you're not my boss. I'm going." The ground starts shaking and cracking. Thunderstorm says, "Why are you being so stubborn about this?" Dash says, "Because I need to be there." Thunderstorm says, "Why?" Dash says, "To help you if you get badly hurt, idiot." The ground stops shaking and cracking. Thunderstorm's eyes stop glowing, and he says, "Dashy." Dash says, "I'm going." Thunderstorm looks up to her and says, "Okay, you can go, but please be careful." "I couldn't." Dash says, "I know. I will be. I promise." Thunderstorm smiles and they start kissing. Scooby says, "Woohoo!" Dash and Thunderstorm laugh. The sky turns dark. Thunderstorm says, "Huh?" He looks up and says, "Great Celestia, I've never seen so many ponies." David lands. Deer ponies and unicorns walk up behind him. David says, "We're ready, the Thunderstorm. All of us." Thunderstorm's horn glows. A portal opens. And he says, "This is going to be a war to remember." David screams, "It's open! Move!" The Pegasus descend into it, and the air ponies and unicorns run into it. 2 hours later, air pony has finally gone through. Thunderstorm, David, and Rainbow Dash go through. All the ponies are waiting, hovering in the air, standing on the ground. Air ponies, unicorns, and Pegasuses all looking at Thunderstorm. Thunderstorm says, "We need to find the humans that contacted us. First, First wheel, a voice screams, "Wait!" A human runs up to Thunderstorm. Thunderstorm lands, the main and anti-six behind him. Thunderstorm says, "Who are you?" The human says, "Who are you? I've never seen you in the show at all." Draconic Index looks up and says, "What's going on?" The human says, "Or him. Who are you guys?" Thunderstorm and Draconic look at each other, then back at the human. Draconic says, "I am Celestia's son, Draconics. I was made from different kinds of DNA." The human says, "Celestia's son?" Thunderstorm says, "And I am Luna's son, by blood, not DNA. I am king of the dark ponies and weather. Also, me and Draconics are co-kings of Equestria. My name is Thunderstorm. Dashi, could you come up here, please?" Rainbow Dash walks up to Thunderstorm. Draconic says, "Rain, could you come up here too, please?" Rain walks up to Draconics. Thunderstorm says, "This is my queen and beautiful wife, Rainbow Dash." Draconic says, "And my queen and beautiful wife, Rain." Thunderstorms and Rainbow Dash's daughter. The human's mouth drops. He says, "Queen? What? Wife? The daughter? Rainbow Dash is married? How's this not in the show?" Draconic says, "We work around the show. We stay out of sight." Thunderstorm says, "If we need some pony like Dashy, Twilight, or AJ, we'll wait till they're out of sight and switch them with a clone. I'm sure you noticed those inner thigh cutie marks. It's a cloning error. Hey, what can you do? Nothing's perfect. When we don't need them anymore, we wait till the clone is out of sight and switch them back. We know you watch us, so we are very careful." The human says, "You've been..." And we thought the general would love to hear this. "Come on, I'll take you to base." Draconic says, "Wait, what's your name?" The human says, "Brian. Brian Jr. My dad disappeared and didn't even know I existed or that my mom was pregnant." Draconic says, "Thunderstorms," and David's mouth drop. Dave says, "You're Brian's son?" End of Chapter 40. The Brony Adventures 4, Chapter 41. Dark Side Unleashed. Brian Jr. says, "Yes. Yes, you know my dad?" Thunderstorm and Draconic say, Brian Jr. says, "If you do, please tell me. What happened to him?" Draconic sighs and says, "He came to our world to be with his daughter." Brian Jr. says, "Daughter?" Thunderstorm says that she was accidentally sent to Earth, and her age was reversed back to a filly. Your dad found her and raised her. When it was time for Dashi to come home, Draconic says he figured out a way to come to. He couldn't stand to lose her, and she couldn't stand to lose him. Thunderstorm looks at Rainbow Dash. She nods. Thunderstorm sighs and says, "We had a apocalypse. An android apocalypse. We didn't see him for months. One day he stumbled into town, hurt. Me and Draconics couldn't heal him. His wound was magical and beyond our power. He died." Brian Jr. says, "He's dead? My dad is dead?" Thunderstorm nods slowly. Brian Jr. says, "He can't be dead. I didn't even get to meet him, to see him. This isn't fair. I should get to know my own father." Tears go down his cheeks. Brian Jr. says, "Hunt told me he was a great guy." Rainbow Dash says, "He was." She looks up to him and says, "He was nice, kind, funny, fun, good, loving, and stubborn." So stubborn. Tears go down her cheeks, and she says, "He was amazing." Brian Jr. loves her and says, "It's okay. Thanks, sis." Rainbow Dash says, "Sis?" Brian Jr. smiles and says, "Of course, we have the same dad, don't we?" Rainbow Dash says, "Yeah." Brian Jr. says, "Then you're my sister." Rainbow Dash smiles and says, "And you're my brother." They hug again. Then Rainbow Dash walks back beside Thunderstorm. Brian Jr. says, I guess you're my brother-in-law, Thunderstorm. Thunderstorm says, I guess so, bro. Let's get to know, let's get to y'all's base. Brian Jr. says, oh, right. Follow me. In a green building surrounded by trees. A mysterious voice says, come in. The door opens and Brian Jr. walks in and says, sir, they're here. I brought them. The mysterious voice says, excellent. Great job, Sergeant Brian Jr. Brian Jr. says, thank you, General. He leaves the room. The General says, please, let me meet your leader first. Storm and Draconis walk in. The General says, who are you guys? Where's Celestia or Luna? Draconis says, dead. We're their sons. I'm Celestia's and he's Luna's. My name is Draconix. Thunderstorm says, and mine is Thunderstorm. The General says, Celestia's and Luna's sons? Awesome! I'm so glad to meet you. Back to business. I'm sure you're wondering why we're at war with the haters. We have our love and tolerance policy. The haters found a way to open a portal to Equestria. They were going to kill every pony. The Storm and Draconis break out laughing. The General says, what's so funny? Thunderstorm says, they pose no threat to us. We killed them before the day's over. Draconis says, it'd be like a bug up against an Ursa Major. They laugh harder. The General says, we didn't know you existed or are so powerful. Thunderstorm's eyes glow red, and he says, you have no idea. The General steps back and says, anyway, we attacked them to stop them, but it broke out into a full war. We're losing. We need your help. Thunderstorm armor appears, and he says, kill some humans? I'll be happy to. Are they close? The General says, one of their bases is about 20 miles away. Draconix says, you really shouldn't have told him that. The General says, he scares me. What kind of pony's eyes glow red? Draconix says, you're not the first to say that. At a black base surrounded by trees, a hater says, sir, trees are falling. Something's... Shh! The hater says, he looks into Thunderstorm's red eyes. Thunderstorm smiles, his armor pointing out of the hater's back, dripping blood. The hater says, man. Shh! The hater falls to his knees. Thunderstorm says, close. Tell me, hater, do you have kids? The hater shakes his head. Thunderstorm says, you're lying. I'll find them, and slowly, every drop of their blood will spill. They'll cry in agony, and I promise you, before it's over, they'll want to die. The hater tries to speak, but falls over, dead, blood pouring out of his wound. The storm roars. Another hater screams, man down! Pony on base! I think. Thunderstorm says, time to rain down a thunderstorm. The storm roars even louder. Another hater screams, what's going on? There's not supposed to be thunderstorms today? The other hater says, I don't. Thunderstorm punches Chisholm. The hater screams, ah! Thunderstorm hits out through his stomach. The hater screams, ah! Slowly, his bones crack and break. Blood pours out. His skin and throbbing blood red muscle tear as his body is slowly ripped in half. His bloody, pumping heart shines through his ribs. His hands fall to the ground. His bloody ribcage sticking out, covered in dripping blood. His bloody, throbbing organs lay on the ground. His bloody, shiny, pink, throbbing brain halves lay in his ripped skull. His loveless eyes stare at the crimson blood-covered grass. Thunderstorm laughs. The other haters say, God help us. End of chapter 41. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for listening, and see you next time.